Hey everyone, how you doing today? Topic number 3 with Dion's going to be, all right, buddy, what is going on in your business? You got 14 units today. Are you buying more? Are you refining? You selling? What is going on in your business today, Dion? How you doing?
I'm doing great. And something I figured out investing as from starting out to starting to get the systems in place to get the income snowball kicking in to reaching financial freedom is that answer is almost always the same. And I talked to some people, and this morning I was talking to somebody one-on-one to try to figure out, do we invest now because it's a really hot market and there's just no inventory and people get outbid with, too high offers, waiving contingencies. And I said, it doesn't matter if you're in a really hot market, if your portfolio is big, if your portfolio is small, whatever position you're in, we should be working on saving, because the more money you save for down payments, closing costs, reserves, the more options you're going to have. Doesn't mean you have to buy the biggest deal you can. You might find a better yield on a smaller deal. And so the yield determines whether you make a big deal or the small deal, not the size of the deal. And then keep that credit score 740 or higher, because that gets you the best rates. Talk to lenders constantly, maybe not every day, but every couple of weeks, because I just found out today rates dipped down again.
They did.
Most of us weren't expecting that, but
Nope.
until you say it and I say it, we don't know that that's happening. So talking to a lender, every couple of weeks to, just send an email and just say, hey, what are the rates at today? What would you be able to do? Because refinancing rates are probably, to me, the biggest factor on whether you do that or not. And then you're looking at deals. You do the work every day, 10, 15 minutes.
Day.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough either, even though we both want to. If I look at a deal and then I wait a week and I look at a deal, my brain isn't current on what everything is that's been happening for the last few days. So every day when I'm looking, I'll see a place that I want to make an offer on.
Yeah.
And I'm still looking for the next property. I started to look in Arizona because I was looking at putting a truck driving school there. And I thought if I buy a small multifamily next to one of our campuses, I can expand with it. And then I'll be being paid to snowbird. And couldn't find a location for the truck driving school. So that's on hold for now for that location. And so now I'm back in Washington. I'll find the next small multifamily, and depending on the deal that I find, it will determine whether I house hack or if it's an investment property. But because I've been doing the same process, continue to save, keep the credit score up, keep talking to lenders to find out rates, I'll have all of those options.
Right.
And
that's
so
awesome.
Still looking current.
And people ask me all the time, right? I got here 3.5 years ago or whatever it was. And they always seem like they always almost act like you're done. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm hungrier now. I don't have that 60 or 70-hour job consuming my time. I'm networking more. I'm looking at more deals. I wrote 250 offers last year because I was still trying to grow, didn't get any. But yeah, folks, I'm not stopping. Even though the market's hot and there's no inventory, those are all headline numbers. Your job is to find a good or great deal in the noise, and they're always out there. We closed 6 deals last year in the number 1 market in the country. So if I could do it, anybody could do it. You just got to do the work every day. Focus, do the work. I'm curious, have you done any refis, either rate and term or cash out refi in the last couple of years?
I did in 2020. Some of this was because I was watching you, and I've mentioned this to you before. I actually acquired a property in November of 2020 because I wasn't watching rates, and you said to actually run the math, and found a great deal that's working great. But in 2020, I also refinanced 2 duplexes from 5.5% down to 3.5%. So I wasn't quite at the bottom, but it's way better than where I was at.
Yeah.
And what was really great with that was property taxes in the counties that those properties are in went up 20%. And the pandemic was hitting, and everyone was nervous and nobody knows what's going on. With the refinances, I was able to not raise rents on tenants, even though property taxes had gone up so much. And each of those properties is cash flowing, pure cash flow, more than $250 each. So it was the perfect time to refinance because rates had dropped so low to spur the economy that a lot of people jumped on that. And that's why they came out with, we're going to put an added fee on refinances to try to slow down how many people were doing that.
I remember.
Yeah. And
So you just did what's called a rate and term refi. You didn't actually get any cash back.
correct. I have this.
No,
I'm
that's
still
good.
holding on to a little bit of the scarcity mindset of my goal is to put money in a property to work.
Got it.
I haven't done any refis. I haven't sold any properties.
That's
I
okay.
don't know if prices would go high enough to make me want to sell, because once you reach complete financial freedom and work is completely optional, it is impossible to put it into words. The peace and the weight off of your shoulders of
Isn't it amazing?
it's the
Yeah.
it's the opposite of a life sentence in prison. You are now free forever.
Yeah.
And so taking money out makes me somewhat think that that's putting a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. So I'm curious, so you did a rate and term. I'm guessing they still did a refi, at least a drive-by refi or appraisal. Sorry. Drive-by appraisal.
I did. I paid for 2 appraisals, and they were kind of expensive because of COVID. To get the appraisers to come out and do the work required more money. So instead of paying about 600 each, they were 900 each. And I did both refinances at the same time in tandem with the same mortgage company.
Okay. And were you pleasantly surprised with the new values?
Yes, it made me start doing the research for a video that I did of what came first, $1 million net worth or $1 million in debt, because I thought I probably have a couple $100,000 net worth. I've invested in these properties and I had never really looked at the appreciation. I was expecting, 3 to 5% a year, and it was hitting 16% a couple of those years. So yeah, they were purchased at 290 and 298, and the values are 420 and 450.
Well, that doesn't suck.
No, that doesn't suck.
Oh
Right.
man, that's awesome. So if I were to summarize, do you actually set goals for the year? Like, are you saying I want 1 or 2 more, or do you think that way? Or you're like, nope, I'm just going to do the work. I'll take what comes. What are you thinking?
That's thanks for wording the question that way, because no one else ever does. They say, what are your goals for the year? And my goal is to do exactly the same. Save, keep the credit score up, keep looking at deals, buy the best yield deal that I find. If I don't find any deals that meet anything, then whenever the time comes, the savings rate kept, savings keeps getting bigger and giving more options, to the point at some point where if prices keep going up, that savings will either be completely pay off a mortgage, which I don't really plan on doing because the tenants are doing that myself, or buy a property cash in a market that's cheaper than the ones that I'm in. And that's still another year or 2 away, but that becomes an option at some point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. We're in the same boat, right? I still do the work every day. I'm looking every day, 10 to 20 minutes a day, looking to grow. I won't do a bad deal, right? I talk about bad, average, good, and great. I only do good and great deals. I only swing. And prices are escalating so much, I'm usually offering below asking, which of course in this market means nothing. But I've been doing this long enough to know that it'll change. I think it changes later half of this year. I'm already starting to see inventory come up. It still gets absorbed really fast, but that's the first sign, right? So I'm excited by what's coming, because I know that I've been hungry for quite a while. So I look forward to doing more deals this year.
Yeah, and a couple of quick tips for the newer investors that are in this hot market. If you don't have a lot of money to play with, the more money that you've saved, it's possible sometimes to do a larger earnest money.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
If you could do 10 or 15,000, that money is still safe as long as you have an appraisal clause and an inspection clause. So you get that money back if you decide to pull out within the right time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And your second thing for getting a deal now is speed.
Yeah.
We all assume we know that the seller is an investor and they know the market and they know that they're going to get a ton of offers and they know it's going to become a bidding war. But sometimes the sellers are from another state, don't know the market, or they inherited the property, or they're going through a divorce or something that is just making them want to offload this property. And the first offer, I'm talking, you have minutes.
Yes.
I have agents and my lenders know that if I don't get a response within 15 minutes of a letter of pre-hire and you used the term earlier when you click the buttons on your phone to make an offer.
DocuSign
it, right? If that's not done within 15 or 20 minutes, I'm calling the next agent or I'm calling the next lender. Because that's how I got that deal in November. Was I just made the asking price offer. I did a high earnest money and I had the offer in within an hour of it hitting the MLS.
Yeah. And, sometimes they just take the first one. They're like, I'm done. I want this gone. I'm out of here. My parents live. Who knows what the story? Don't try to diagnose the seller's reasons, give them what they want and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Dion, man, I always have fun talking to you. Congratulations on financial freedom. These have been 3 great videos. Have a wonderful week. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks. I'll see you next Thursday.
You got it.